Hello friends, welcome to another video. Today's review is Furyborn, an Emperium Trilogy, Book 1 by Claire Legend. No, it's not Legend, it's Legrand. Claire Legrand. I should probably get that straight before I start. I like that it's like a sword and a couple of crowns and like a sun symbol. Rye, are you trying to get to the window? The plants are in the window. You can't. He's making life very difficult for me right now. I should have just put him in the window to start. I don't want you eating the plants. You can be in the window, that's fine. You're gonna stay there. Alright. Sorry about that. Rye and his antics. This is a book I got from my library, and I'm going to have to order the next one in the series because I want to know what happens. Read the back for you. Two young women, centuries apart, hold the power to either save their world or doom it. When assassins ambush her best friend, Riel Dardan risks everything to save him, exposing herself as one of a pair of prophesied queens, a queen of light and a queen of blood. To prove she is the Sun Queen, Riel must endure 7 elemental magical trials. If she fails, she will be executed, unless the trials kill her first. 1,000 years later, the legend of Queen Riel is a fairy tale to Eliana Farrakora, a bounty hunter for the Undying Empire. Eliana believes herself untouchable until her mother vanishes. To find her, Eliana joins a rebel captain and discovers that the evil at the Empire's heart is more terrible than she ever imagined. As Riel and Eliana fight in a cosmic war that spans millennia, their stories intersect, and the shocking connections between them ultimately determine the fate of their world and each other. So this book obviously is the two girls. It goes back and forth between Riel and Eliana, and it's basically every other chapter. So one chapter is Riel, the next one is Eliana, and it goes back and forth like that. Often the chapters end on cliffhangers. Kind of annoying. Do you want down now? You're being really silly today. Oh my goodness. You want in my lap, you want in the window. I'll give you a list of most of the main characters. So we've got Riel, and Audric is her best friend. He is the prince, and his cousin, and I guess Riel's other best friend, Ludivine. I don't know how you say that. Audric's father, King Bastian. One of his advisors that is very close with Riel as well is Tal. And then Eliana and her brother Remy and Simon. Eliana's friend Harkin. There's also another rebel. Simon is the rebel, I should say. Did I say Simon already? Simon is the rebel. And then there's Navi, who was a spy for the rebels. The Archeon is like the lead of the church, and I should mention that he was in Riel's timeline. So it's obvious to me right off the bat that the two Sun Queen and Blood Queen is Riel and Eliana. I'm not going to tell you who is who. You kind of have to figure that out on your own, although I feel like it's kind of obvious. Because the two girls are 1,000 years apart, there's bits that we get to know anyway, just from going back and forth between the two of them, like things from the past that we read about from Riel's point of view that is told slightly different in the future, but we know the truth because we know bits from the past. I found it kind of weird that it jumped back and forth like that, although I understand why it was done, for like the suspense and leaving things a little bit more like more mystery into it. I almost would have liked it better if they did all of Riel's story and then all of Eliana's story, although I feel like some of the things you would have figured out a lot sooner if they had done it that way. So I get why they didn't do it that way. I should also mention Corian. He's an angel. There are good angels and bad angels. Zahara is another. Zahara, Zahra, Zahra. Zahra is another angel that they talk to a lot in the book. I'm sure we'll meet more angels in the next books. For sure. I didn't see any major plot holes jumping out at me, but when they mix up the chapters like that, it makes it a little bit more harder to see them. The whole thing is in first person from either Riel or Eliana's point of view. What am I missing? Oh, there are no dragons in this book either, unfortunately. I'm wondering, because there are mythical creatures. They talk about the mythical creatures, like unicorns and winged horses and phoenixes and stuff. So I wonder if a dragon might appear. I highly doubt it, though. I don't think it's going to be that kind of book. It is, there's a little bit of romance. Not a lot, but I would say 16 plus. It doesn't get into like a ton of detail or anything, but there are scenes. So I wouldn't let my 12-year-old read it. I don't have a 12-year-old, by the way. I'm just saying if I did, I wouldn't let her read it. Make her wait a little bit. 14, 16. It's more about the rest of the story, like I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. So like Riel is trying to prove that she's the Sun Queen because she has all these powers. She gets discovered, and it's her story, I think when she's 18 going forward, to try and go through these trials and what's going on in her life. Oh, there is, the very first chapter is actually Riel's point of view, before, and then it jumps to 2 years later for the rest of Riel's story. So there's just from that first chapter we learned some things that we shouldn't know, like predictions. I don't know. And Eliana's story, she's working for the Empire, who are the bad guys, but she's only doing it to survive, to protect her family. And then she gets forced into working with the rebels, and she sees a whole new side. Like, you really see her growth in this book. From just trying to survive to knowing that she needs to do what's right. Yeah. I wasn't really entirely in the mood for this book. Not that it wasn't good. I did enjoy the story and like the world building. There is a map. I love books with maps. Maps are awesome. There's a map of the world. And in the back, which I didn't realize until I got to the back, because obviously, that's just how things are. They talk about, if I can get to that page. Where is it? There's a small blurb about the world. In Calderia, Riel's kingdom, the church is the official religious body. Citizens worship in 7 elemental temples that stand in each Calderian city. Temples range from simple altars in a single small room to the elaborate lavish temples in the capital city. Similar religious institutions exist in nations around the world of Avitas. In Eliana's time, most elemental temples have been destroyed by the Undying Empire, and few people still believe in the old world stories about magic, the saints, and the gate. And then it's got a little thing here of the elements the magic wielders who can use the elements each, and like a little thing about each element, which country is associated with each temple or with each element, the saint and the animal associated with each element. So in Riel's time, certain people can use certain elements, but only one element, and that's what makes Riel special, is she can use all of them. Star rating. I want to say 2.5 to 3, but I wanted to say that's also because of my mood. Like I feel like I wasn't in the mood for this book. Because the writing is great. The writing is very good. The plot is very interesting and compelling. I just was having a hard time sticking to it. Like once I started reading, I'd love it, but if I got interrupted, I had a hard time like jumping back into it. Where other books I read, once I put it down, I'm trying to find ways to pick it up again. But this one, I was struggling with picking it up. Once I started reading, I was really into it though. It was kind of hard to say. The characters are interesting and relatable and dynamic. Nothing really was standing out to me per se though. It is the first in a trilogy, which leads to more building. But the first one is supposed to like hook you, so you want it to be super fascinating. A page turner while I was reading it, but like I said, I struggled finding the desire to pick it up and read it. I definitely liked it. I liked it a lot. I will not be rereading. I will be getting the sequel to see what happens. I liked it enough that I'm interested in to know what happens next. So there's that. Like I said, again, I'm stating I'm a mood reader, and I don't think I was in the right mood for this book. It's got all the elements that I absolutely love, but I struggled. Hopefully the next one I'll be in a better frame of mind. I think I might read something else and then find the next one to read, just to help me get in the right mood for book 2. Anyway, that's my review of Furyborn by Claire Legrand. I do recommend it, especially if you're into the fantasy and like overcoming an Empire Star Wars-y theme, but not really. I'm trying to think of other books that are like it. The Red Queen series. What is it? Red Queen, Glass Sword, King, War Storm by Victoria Aveyard. That series, it reminded me of that. I liked it better than the Red Queen series. Definitely better than the Red Queen series, in my opinion. You might hate me for that. I don't care. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Anyway, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for when I do the next book. I'll put the link in the description box below once I get that done. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful evening.